All right, we have Dev Diary number 95 for the Fate of Iberia CK3 flavor pack coming out here at the end of May, and we're going to be diving through this here today. And I'm really excited for this flavor pack. We just concluded our big campaign for the Carlings, pretty much working on a unification of the Carolingian borders in a big old Frankish empire. So it'll be exciting to kind of play the other end of a portion of that struggle, right? We'll be doing a stream playing as an al-Andalusian character and trying to avenge the Battle of Tours, amongst other things. But in this Dev Diary today, we'll be talking about some of the culture and faith stuff that is coming with this flavor pack, as well as some of the decisions that are coming with this flavor pack, because there's a lot of fun stuff. And if you play the Northern Lords flavor pack already, it's going to be a lot of the same style of decisions, culture and faith improvements and whatnot, right? Remember Norse Osatru got a complete overhaul to its culture, to its religion, and then we got a ton of these little tiny improvements to just random happenstance and events and occurrences, right? Like the Ting meat and stuff like that. So you have a lot of really fun stuff coming here with Flavor of Iberia. So let's go into this. I've highlighted a lot of the things I do want to talk about, and this first paragraph kind of gives us some fun information, or at least some fun kind of future speculation of what it might look like for future flavor packs, right? Yet we have filled the Fate of Iberia with flavor content high and low, from fairy tales whispered by a fireplace to grand designs of priests and kings. In the Fate of Iberia, you might encounter the Estadia, the wandering dead of Galician myth. That's basically, think of it as the Wild Hunt, or Santa Compaña is another word for it. The legendary Garduña thieves, great smiths of Toledo, cheese-making Vikings, and Andalusian polymaths dreaming of flight. So a lot of really cool, fun, cultural significance and mythology sprinkled into this, and I really do love that. Especially, the Santa Compaña there is really cool. But if you kind of think of this as like maybe a flavor pack for the British Isles, getting any kind of Hibernian or Albion mythology sprinkled in, right? Like anything with King Arthur. Like we already have the Excalibur kind of in the game with the royal court system and the fake Excaliburs and whatnot. So I think that this can be expanded so many ways in so many cool areas of the map, and I'm really excited to see more flavor packs in the future. But moving into culture and faith, we get basically a breakdown of the culture system being slightly overhauled for this flavor pack. They pretty much were saying here, Iberian cultures were in a pretty good place already, thanks to the cultural rework in the royal court. So this is really just not going to be a huge drastic change, but more of a fine-tuning. So we can see tabletop warriors here was added to the Castilian culture, which makes them shoo-ins for playing Warhammer 40k. Then maybe they're better at the hobby side than the tabletop side. Who knows? Maybe they don't like to go to a competitive game. I personally don't. But tabletop warriors here gives commanders are likelier to gain commander traits, may also challenge other characters to board games, may wager a personally held county in board games if both players have this rule. All Castilian characters have martial and movement speed increase with a reduction of their prowess. So you can see how this kind of fits into the warrior-like culture. Martial admiration, chivalry, all these castle keepers, everything like that of Castilian. Also, too, we get a little preview of some of those barbershop things coming. And I'm really excited to see what a lot of it looks like come the flavor pack, or at least a Dev Diary, kind of giving us at least a peer into some of the new aesthetic items that we can use in the flavor pack itself. So I'm really excited for that. So I'm really excited for that. But concerning faith, our new shared head of faith mechanic will add dynamicism to Iberia's fractured religious landscape. More info regarding this will come in a future development diary. I'm really curious to see how that works. So I'm looking forward to that Dev Diary, because it is a big standout thing that a lot of people noticed in a lot of the early screenshots for the flavor pack. But now we get to go into the Mozarabism, or Mozarabic. And basically Mozarabic faith, for those who do not know, are Christians living in Muslim or Islamic held counties, or basically in al-andalus. They retain their Christian beliefs, but they also adhere to Muslim culture and fashion and whatnot. It's the easiest way to kind of make that comparison. So if you're wondering what Mozarabism, that is really kind of how it is. It's a Christian living in al-Andalus, essentially, basically with a top liege, if we're using the game terms, that is Muslim. But this kind of gives you a little idea of Mozarabic faith and kind of how their overall objective works here. So try to take control of Toledo. If you play a Mozarabic Christian, it can allow you to convene a new great church council, echoing the one in 711. But take heed, such a council might also affect the struggle. How will your realm be affected by the vicious debates to follow? There are other new decisions available to Mozarabs, including the ultimate prize, the restoration of the Kingdom of Toledo. So you can see we get at least some idea of what it looks like here, your legitimized bastardry, how their consanguinity works, their tenets for communion right and adaptive, helping out, of course, with dealing with a lot of differing faiths, right? Or faiths. You're going to have just straight up Catholicism to your north, and you're going to have Islam or Muwadism to your south. So it's going to be a pretty wild time for Mozarabs, and I'm really curious to see what that playstyle feels like, especially with 3 of your holy sites being right in Iberia. You've got Santiago, Cordoba, and Toledo, and we'll take a look at those in just a little bit. So I think this will be a very fun playthrough for those that really want that kind of center position here, right? So holy site of Toledo, you've got God damn it, Cordoba right there, and then you have got Santiago over here. So a lot of really fun, cool locations here. Also, there's Bosque Paganism that was added in. So this is Bosque Paganism. I was like, what am I looking at right here? Among rulers, it is a dead religion at game start. So much like we get with, say, the Roman Pantheon. But its traditions persist among the common folk, and an opportunistic ruler might find reason to champion the faith of the country Bosques and bring it back to prominence, which is really cool. I always love the fact that you can do something like this. So for tenets here, we get Christian syncreticism, which is going to really help out again with dealing with a lot of the Christian faiths around you. Since they will not look at you as hostile, as evil, they'll look at you as hostile. And you can use Christian artifacts, which is great because you probably were a Christian ruler up to this, so you can retain any Christian artifacts you might have. Mutual opinion helps with Christian faiths, and you have virtues and sins that kind of match alongside Christianity as well. An interesting one though is this tenet with, it says chthonic redoubts. I don't think that is spelled right. I think it's supposed to be CHTHONIC, redoubts. And that is basically saying that this is a chthonic religion, saying that essentially the gods, the deities of this religion reside on or below Earth. There's the sky is not like it's more of like a vessel. It's not an actual like, oh yeah, they live up in the heavens like a lot of other quote unquote pagan faiths. That's what that means. So I don't know what that actual tenet is. It's not in the game right now. So I'd love to see what that looks like. But for some doctrines here, we get pluralists as well, monogamous, legitimized bastards, cousin marriage, shunned deviancy, and same-sex relations. For sins, though, we get craven, arbitrary, callous, sadistic, and fickle. And then, of course, for this virtues, we get, well, we know compassionate is a virtue. And then just and brave are 2 of the other virtues here. I wonder what some of the other ones are. So I'm very, very curious to see what the rest of this scroll looks like and how that kind of plays out. I do like the option of being able to jump into that, so I really want to see what this looks like in the actual game. For special buildings, dynasty tracks, and artifacts, we get some cool stuff here. So they have added in more special buildings. We already get the Great Mosque of Cordoba and the Basilica of Santiago. Or is we have the Basilica of Santiago? I thought we got a special church in Santiago. Either way, I think it's just called a cathedral as a special building, but it's implied to be the Basilica of Santiago. Then you also get the walls of Toledo, which are going to be added in. They're also adding in natural wonders, such as the Rock of Gibraltar. So it's really exciting to see those conventions being brought into the game. I'd love to see this across other locations on the map, especially if they did any kind of Byzantine or any kind of flavor pack in the Byzantine area. A lot of those really cool wonders would probably still be around at that time, at least. I think. Yes. Hopefully. Yes. My history is rubbish right now. But also we get the Tower of Hercules, the Ferrum Brigantium. So you can have access to that too, which is really cool. So bringing a lot of really fun really fun special buildings into this region, I think is really, really cool because there is so much history steeping this location. We're also adding new artifacts as well, of course, among them the famed Bells of Santiago, or in 1066, they're melted down in reforged state as aquamanils in the Muslim court of Toledo. And they were saying like, hey, it's hard for us to show off lamps, which they were actually boiled down to. So we did aquamanils. But you also find armillary spheres, scallop shells from the Pilgrim Road to Santiago, chessboards, Visigothic votive crowns, and much more. So a lot of really cool sounding artifacts coming with this as well. But we also get 2 new Dynasty Legacies, right? Metropolitan and Coterie. So for Coterie, you can gain various benefits related to your dynasty and its members. Useful diplomacy and intrigue. The reliable house perk will give you 10% of your counselor's primary skills. We already see this enveloped as an actual skill. It's not 10%, I think it's a different percentage, but it's cool to get that as an actual dynasty perk. Well, the ultimate perk in this legacy, Pragmatic Roots, allows dynasty members to disinherit their children for a prestige and tyranny cost. So it doesn't cost you renown to do it. You can just do that instead. You can just use prestige and knock up a little bit of tyranny. Also, we get this one, shared information. Unlock shared secrets. Exchange known secrets with members of your house. That is really powerful. That can really kind of make a hook continue through generations, right? Like you as the father know this hook to transfer to the son, who will then be your character. I think that is awesome. I love that. Do we see where the cursor is? It might be like this one right here. Maybe it looks like maybe this one. But the picture looks like it might be that one. Who knows? But shared secrets is in there too, and that's a really cool one. But for the Metropolitan Legacy, will aid you in the development and construction of your prestige. But basically, this is for building tall. It even says at the end of the section. Unlock a unique expand cities decision and give you some added motivation to build new city holdings in your realm, which I think is cool because as it is right now, you mainly want to make castle holdings because they become your immediate holdings and you get money from them. I don't think until we get any kind of Republic flavor pack or DLC like we had in CK2, that city holdings will be as valuable, but I assume that this is going to help out in some way, shape, or form. The Republican Education perk introduces the Town Maven trait that dynasty members might receive if they are educated in a county with high development. I thought that maybe said big development, but yeah, high development. Metropolitan is a great track if you prefer playing tall, building an economically strong realm, which will be conducive because you have to deal with the struggle in Iberia. You can't just simply conquer everything at the drop of a hat. So I think that makes a lot of sense, and it's a really cool one. Moving into events and decisions, we get some struggle events, and we'll kind of blaze through this section pretty quickly here. But these are things like this, which is pretty cool, where some guy basically says like, hey, come take this county and bring it into your realm. And you will be expected to capture Burgos within 10 years. You gain 40 trust because you're greedy. You get an unpressed claim on the county. You gain promised liberation for 10 years. Every powerful vassal gains 15 opinion of you. So I really like this because what I feel in the game right now, there's not really enough RP ways to get claims outside of asking the Pope, having your actual dude do it, or bringing a claimant into your territory. I think this is a really cool way to do it, where it's like, oh yeah, this guy's basically asking you for it. You have my word, it will be liberated. Or, perhaps you can begin by paying tribute to your new lord. Like, you've got a lot of really cool ways to get that claim now in this instance, and I do like that. I assume that there's going to be some more expansion upon that as well. So very curious to see how that one plays out. Like this one here, some events will have you deal with unexpected losses, though you can still gain something from the situation if you play your cards right here. And this one, like this guy is like basically trying to, you're torturing him, and he's like, well, I'll give you a secret on the Sultan if you release me. Or this dude's like, yo, I'm a really good blacksmith, trust me, put me in the charge of your guild. So a lot of very fun, really cool, flavorful struggle events that are going to occur as part of the struggle that is happening in Iberia. But then you get some fun flavor events that are going to be related to the location, culture, what have you. Like this is kind of related to horchata. You get some fun stuff down here. I don't know this one. Actually, I didn't read this one at all. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is, but still, you get fun flavor events. So I'm really excited to see a lot of these because it made playing Northern Lords very fun because you get these flavor events. You don't know what the hell they are, and there's tons of them. So I think it's going to add a lot of really fun playability to this location. For decisions, though, we get some other fun ones like Sponsor Jewish Sciences, and that's going to cause a golden age, which people can actually steal from you, which I think is really, really cool. So if you're playing in multiplayer, you can steal that golden age from another character who's currently sponsoring it. So I think that's really fun. Also, you get the Iberian Foothold. So if you are an adjoining empire, like, say, the Holy Roman Empire, you can, or well, the fractured Holy Roman Empire, if you're looking at the 867 starting bookmark, you can go get a foothold, an Iberian foothold. And this allows you to basically have a say in the Iberian struggle by forcing it, right? Every to your kingdom of Hispania, which satisfies the below conditions, will become a part of the Empire of Francia. The Iberian struggle ends, but you have to hold an empire that is not in Hispania, and you have to have certain Christian faiths and whatnot in it. So it's a very, very fun, really cool way to kind of spice up this struggle. So before we kind of end this video, I do want to say I looked at the previous dev diary, and it is such a dense dev diary that I think it's going to be more conducive to talk about that when it's in game. It basically goes into how the struggle works, and they were saying too that we don't plan to make the Iberian struggle the only way to do this. It's just how we want to start with it, and we hope to expand this out from maybe a geographical region to, say, a title and stuff like that. So you can see this having a lot of fun if you kind of look at stuff like the 100 Years' War and the Plantagenet Crown, or the struggle for the Kingdom of France, if you want to look at it between English and French in the 100 Years' War and stuff like that, and who owns true claim to it, with even the Kingdom of Navarre being thrown into that. So I could see this struggle mechanic being expanded out to a lot of different aspects of Crusader Kings 3, and it's very exciting because I really think that we need more so than actual DLCs. We need more flavor packs in the game, because the game outside of the Northern Lords now feels roughly the same for any feudal lord, roughly the same for any clan, and roughly the same for any tribal lord. And I think that getting these flavor packs out at a pretty timely manner is really going to spice the game up, because they're low impact, right? This is like a $5 flavor pack, right? $6 pay, $5, $6, $7, whatever it's going to be. And it adds so much, well, flavor to Iberia as a whole, which already has a ton baked into the base game. So I'm really, really excited for this. Right now, you cannot pre-order it on my Nexus Store, but when the game comes out, May 31st, if you do want to support the channel, you can purchase it using the Nexus Store. They'll give you a Steam key, and it is a great way to support the channel if you so wish. But go ahead and let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section below. Are you excited for the flavor pack? Are you just like, meh, yeah, I guess it's all right? Or is this something that you're kind of disappointed and you wanted maybe a Byzantine flavor pack, or you wanted a Georgian flavor? I personally wanted like a Caucasus Mountains kind of like flavor pack, to be totally honest. I thought it would have been really fun. Or like maybe like a bookmark with the rise of Islam and the fall of the Persian Empire and the subsequent kind of like weakening of the Byzantine Empire. Would have been a really, really fun bookmark to do this, which would basically have been 200 years? The Rashidun Caliphate? Like 200-300 years before 866? I can't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head, but still. Getting that would have been a really fun bookmark and a fun flavor pack too, because I think that while we get a huge boost here to the Asatru faith and the Northern Lords, I think that the Abrahamic faiths outside of Christianity really need an overhaul too. So looking forward to some future stuff here, guys. Go ahead and let me know what you think in the comment section below. But as always, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.